It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
It's great to have you working around the boat with us today. I'm John Greviskis. What I'm doing here is I'm fairing in the back of our boat, making it ready to paint. Then we're going to hang an engine bracket. In fact, we're going to show you how brackets are made at a factory, and then Nick and I are going to give you step-by-step instructions of how to actually hang one. Get ready. We're going to show you another great way to make your boat shipshape.
ShipShape, America's favorite boat improvement show, is being brought to you in part by Mid-Island Marina, home of the VIP guarantee. Stainless Marine, fly like an eagle with performance-proven products for every boat owner. And by Fort Myers Beach Marina, over 60 years of doing things right.
Well, what I'm doing here is I'm mixing up some more marine filler. I want to do a final fair-in on this boat. And the reason I'm using this marine filler is it's watertight below the water line, and that's what we're going to need to do. Now, Nick, what have you been doing?
Well, John, I'm taking this sander and I'm going to remove the bottom paint off in this area here so we can bring it up in our steps of sanding and get ready to paint the back of this boat.
Now, Nick, how are we going to paint this boat? We're nowhere near putting this thing up on a travel lift and taking it inside the shed and spraying.
Well, John, I found something that's pretty amazing. I got to admit, I'm a little skeptical, but if it works out, I think we're all going to learn a little something today.
What are we talking about?
I found a paint that you sand the back of the boat down, or whatever boat you got, and you take it from 80 to 180, paint it on, roll it on, brush it on, and it's done.
You're kidding me.
No, that sounds crazy. Let's get this thing faired in and try it out. We'll see if it's for real or not. You know?
We got nothing to lose.
All right. After our filler cured, we used a DA with 80 grit sandpaper to knock it down. It took multiple coats of filler to fill in all the low spots. The bottom paint was removed and the gel coat under it was sanded first with 80 and finally 180 grit sandpaper. When the final coat of filler was faired in, the entire transom area was DA'd with 180. We used the Stick-It Gold film from 3M. It held up real well and constant changing of paper was not necessary. After final sand with 180, we blew off the transom and readied it for our first coat of paint.
Well, Nick, I've got it all faired in and I've sanded it down to 180 grit. Now, should I keep going to about 400?
No, just get it nice and smooth with the 180. We'll be all ready to paint.
Well, Nick, come on. When you're painting, you got to go at least to 400 grit.
No, go to 180 and we'll just put the paint right on.
This is some miracle paint or something. Tell me about this stuff. What kind of stuff is it?
Well, it's a paint that was mixed up by a gentleman up in Stuart, Florida here, and he calls it Signature Paints, and it's his own blend. No primer. That's one of the reasons we chose to go for it. I'm looking for simplicity here, and 180 is as far as we need to go, and the boat's faired in.
Now, this sounds wacky. We're not going to use a primer. We're not going to go down to 400 grit. I'll tell you, I don't want to sand this stuff off. There's been a lot of work prepping this boat.
Well, Let's give it a shot.
right.
It's been out for a while, and a bunch of guys have tried it. I talked to a few guys that put it on their boats, and they say it works.
Well, let's see if this guy can make us a believer.
Alrighty, we got her mixed up. I'm gonna pour it in this roller pan, and I got a couple rollers here if you want to give me a hand.
Sure, let me finish wiping down here. That about does it.
Now, a couple of tricks about rolling paint is first we want to get the roller wet, and then we want to roll the roller on up, you know, to get it saturated through. And then whenever you're rolling on a vertical surface with a roller, start down and pull up. That keeps the paint from dripping down on your feet. And we'll come back with a fine brush, and we'll feather in around these scupper plugs and this water tank vent and stuff like that. Now, there's an old expression in roll-on paints that old boat painters have been using for years. It's called tip and roll. And when I've talked to people about this paint and wanting to apply it on the boat, they all said to me, well, are you going to tip and roll it? And what tip and roll is that you roll on, and then you have somebody come behind you with a real fine brush, and then work in the the high spots that the roller leaves. But we're not even supposed to do that here. We're just supposed to roll.
Well, I heard an old adage when you're painting, you can't paint with a dry brush.
Well, I bet whoever said that was right.
Nick, how many coats do we need to put on this boat?
And we're going to do 3 coats. We did this 1 coat tonight. We waited for the evening because of the motion is slowed down here at the boatyard. We don't have to worry about a lot of dust and stuff. And we'll hit a coat early in the morning. That'll get tacked up. And I don't know, what do you want to do tomorrow afternoon?
Well, how about if we put the bracket on?
Sounds good.
Is that going to be possible?
Well, if we get another coat on in the morning early, we can get 1 more. We should be able to do it.
So what's cure time, about 6-8 hours on this stuff?
Yeah, you should wait like overnight like we're doing on the first coat, and then we could put a couple coats in between after that.
We're about out of light, so it's a good time to take a break. We'll come back in the morning and show you how engine brackets are made. Stay with us. Hey, this is
Ship Shape TV will be right back.
When it's time to clean up those nasty, dirty, grungy dock lines, then it's time for you to pick up today the new rope and cord brush from Surehold Industries. The adjustable, flexible design easily wraps around 1/2 inch to 1 inch, twisted or braided ropes, power cords, garden or bilge hoses, even your stainless steel rub rails. Use the might of this new brush with the cleaning power of Surehold's SMC cleaner. Simply soak, then brush, sparkling clean. So get scrubbing today.
We now return to Ship Shape TV.
I'm in Miami, Florida at Stainless Marine, the world's largest producer of engine brackets, and with me today is Jerry Schmid, the owner. Now, Jerry, you're going to be building our bracket today, and I was hoping you could kind of tell us how to determine what size bracket you would put on your boat.
All right. Well, we have a simple form for people to fill out that gives all the information of the boat to help us determine what bracket will fit their boat properly. Transom angle, size of the boat, the type of motors, 1 or 2 motors they're putting on it, and by this we can determine what bracket's the right bracket for their boat.
Well, I was really hoping you could show our audience how you go through and build your engine brackets. Where do you start?
Sure, John. We have raw material that comes in large quantities, and from there we take that raw material and fabricate the brackets through different procedures. The first procedure on the brackets is we use 5/16 5086 aluminum alloy plate, and we plasma cut to patterns from electric tracing eye machine that cuts the patterns the same each time, that gives us our main bracket.
Now, this electronic eye, this is actually tracing a template.
It's tracing a drawn template, which cuts the template out, cuts the metal out from the template, and we repeat this process so each template is the same each time.
Fantastic. Where do we go from here?
From here, the plate goes to the press brake, and we bend it into shape.
Well, let's take a look at that.
Okay. This is a mechanical press brake made by Cincinnati. It's 250-ton capacity. This is where we bend the brackets up after they're cut on the plasma arc machine to give the bracket its shape and its main structure.
What kind of radius is the bend?
The bend is a 1-inch bend radius on all 4 corners. The material is 5/16 5086 aluminum.
It's very impressive. Jerry, this is an impressive shear.
Yes, this is a Cincinnati 12-foot 3/8 shear. Cut 3/8 steel and 1/2-inch aluminum. Yeah, John, here we have drill presses set up for drilling the engine plates and a tool set up for chamfering, deburring the holes that we drill.
So once this is done, you start putting the brackets together, and there's got to be some welding involved there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's hoping you can show me that.
Sure.
Holy cow, Jerry, look at all these brackets. How many weld stations do you have going right now?
We have about 13 weld stations for the brackets, where we do the welding and assembly of all the brackets. And they come to this general area in preparation to go into the finish room for sanding and grinding before they go to powder coat to be finished.
That's amazing. Speaking of amazing things, I want you to check out this hot new boat that's out on the water. Let's have a look at it together.
Okay.
My assignment this week is to check out the first ever, never seen before, new Sea Ray mid-cabin 290 Sundancer. This boat is equipped with twin MerCruiser 4.3-liter V6 stern drives. I'm really impressed with how quiet and smooth these engines are. The twin stern drives make maneuvering around the fuel dock a piece of cake. Cruise is a comfortable 25 miles per hour with a top speed of 40, making long trips seem brief. Visibility over the bow is exceptional, considering its high decks. This boat rides naturally through the water with almost no need for the standard trim tabs. The 10-foot-2 beam gives this 29-footer the ride that some 40-foot sedans would envy.
Mainly I purchased the Sea Ray because of the quality of the boat. We've had other boats before and they just don't compare. This boat drives very easily, and I absolutely love it.
With more than 50 models ranging from 14 to 65 feet, Sea Ray is the world's largest manufacturer of superior quality pleasure boats. That's real obvious here on the 290 Sundancer. All 8 Sea Ray manufacturing facilities have been certified by the International Organization of Standards. Sea Ray is the only recreational boat company to receive the most stringent evaluation in the boating world, ISO 9002.
This new 290 is a result of pinpoint customer focus groups where we brought together previous and current Sea Ray owners and asked them what it was that they wanted in a new 290 mid-cabin. We then brought together our design and engineering teams to create from scratch this new 290.
This portside wet bar stands ready for entertaining. This convenient cockpit dining table with sun pads is standard. Full-size transom door eases access to the large swim platform with built-in retractable ladder. I did notice a need for a grab rail when climbing up with dive gear on. This convenient fender locker is also located at the stern. Controls are easily reached with good view of the custom gauges from this double helm seat with flip-up thigh rise. Below, the first thing I noticed was the open layout and natural flow. The head is located just inside with plenty of storage and a large shower. Laid out for convenience, the galley offers a large sink, dual burner stove, refrigerator-freezer combo, and microwave. This boat is also equipped with air conditioning and generator. Turning this sofa into a dining room is easy. Just remove the table from under the forward bunk and pop it in place. The mid-cabin conversion is spacious and unique. The bolster cushions double as the bunk filler pad, covering more storage. Large closets are big enough for full-length dresses and formal wear. This full-size forward bunk has a curtain that, when pulled, offers total privacy.
I like the ease of handling. I do like the roominess. We have our New Year's parties on board every year. So we're hoping to do one of the getaways this summer and go to the Bahamas and take 6 or 7 other people with us. There's plenty of room, and it drives wonderfully in heavy seas and in the intracoastal. It's fantastic.
With sleeping accommodations for 6 people and a complete galley, the 290 Sundancer makes a great getaway boat. By far the best designed mid-cabin boat in the industry. This boat scores high in the engineering, layout, looks, and functionality categories. I'm Elizabeth Saunders reporting for ShipShape TV. Back to you, John.
Wow, that was a great boat, Jerry.
Yeah, it was terrific.
I was really impressed by that one.
Yes.
Now we're in a welding booth, and what do we have going on here?
All right, this is a 4-engine custom bracket that's going to go on a 36-foot boat. It's going to take 4 3-liter Mercury motors. We do a lot of this type of stuff.
Holy smokes,
custom
that's
and
some horsepower.
multi-engine brackets. Yes, quite a bit of horsepower.
So you don't just do the small single brackets, you do the big ones as well.
Oh yeah, we do some little tiny 6-inch mini brackets up to the big 4-engine and triple-engine brackets and so forth.
Give me the biggest advantage of going to a bracket.
Well, it gives you more room inside the boat. It makes the boat a safer boat for rough seas than having motors on the transom.
Right.
It makes the boat more efficient. It gets the motors back off the back of the boat where it's cleaner water for them to run in, and it lets the motors run up a little higher. Usually you get more speed out of the boat and more efficiency, more fuel efficiency across the board.
So show me how you finish these things off.
Okay.
So this is your finish room.
Yeah, John, this is the finish room where we do all the grinding and sanding of the welds and the brackets to prep them for powder coating or painting.
Now, you guys are very known in the industry for your non-skid. You have one of the most unique non-skid applications for your brackets in the industry. I was hoping you could show us that.
Yeah, we can show you that, John.
This is really a unique process that you guys are doing with this non-skid.
Yeah, John, we go out of our way to give a real good quality non-skid surface on our brackets. After they're powder coated, we tape them off and sand the surface, as he's doing over here, and then we spray it with a polyurethane paint with a non-skid particle that gives it a permanent non-skid surface.
So this will never come off?
Unique. Should never come off. Stay on there for many years.
Jerry, what's this over here?
This is a surface that we put on here to protect the surface of the bracket from the engine where the engine mounts, to keep it from scratching the powder coat and all that, and to help keep the motor stable from not slipping around. And it's a stick-on piece that we die cut out to fit the shape of where the motor mounts.
What's your man over there doing?
He's standing. He's getting ready to non-skid your bracket, John.
Well, great. All we need to do is non-skid that, and we can take it back to the boatyard and show you how to install it right after this commercial break. Jerry.
Here's what's coming up next on ShipShape TV.
Give your prized items a better-than-new look with SureHold Buff Magic. This buffing compound works as a metal polish and rubbing compound for your boat, car, and other home equipment. Buff Magic is specifically formulated to remove oxidation and surface defects, restore that quality showroom shine, and provide a deep, rich finish in one easy step. Proudly made in the USA, SureHold Buff Magic is the ultimate restoration compound. SureHold, clean and simple.
We now return to ShipShape.
What I've been doing is determining the center line on our transom. I've then gone from that center line out 13 inches each way. Now if I take the two 13s and add them together, I have 26 inches, telling us we're going to have 26-inch center lines from the center of one propeller to the center of the other. And that's pretty much an average. After those dimensions have been marked on the transom, we've gone and installed our template. Now what I've done in this case is I've lowered the complete template and bracket about 1.5 inches or so. And the reason I've done that is if I were to install this template and or bracket according to the directions, I would have hit these scuppers. And I don't want to have to move the scuppers and dish out the bracket, etc. So we're going to lower the whole bracket about the 1.5 inches, and then we'll compensate when we install the engines on the bracket up 1 or 2 notches to make up for that lowering. Now that this template's installed, I can start drilling our holes. I'm going to start with a 1/4-inch drill bit as a pilot hole. That finishes up all of our 1/4-inch pilot holes. Now we need to go up to a larger bit. You can go with a 17/32 or a 9/16. I like to go to a 9/16 because I found after hanging a bunch of these things that if you go with the 17/32, all the holes are a little bit too tight and you wind up trying to beat a few of them in. Since there's that many holes, you need them a little bit larger to make up for the human error. And speaking of human error, when you're drilling, especially with the larger bit, you want to keep the back of your drill at the same angle of the transom, at the same time from right to left or port to starboard, keeping this hole as straight as possible. Otherwise you're going to get the bolts halfway in and some are going to go one way and the other way. You're never going to get all the holes lined up. I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper to scuff up the paint in between the engine bracket and the transom. This is going to give the 5200 a good bond. I'm then going to spread the 5200 on all the areas in which the engine bracket and the boat will come in contact. We'll circle the holes so that as the bracket goes in, the bolts will allow the 5200 to penetrate into the transom. For safety's sake, we'll take the shanks of the bolts and coat them with 5200 also. We'll then lift the bracket into place with using 2 bolts to support it. We'll then start some nuts and snug those 2 bolts.
You got the wrench on it?
Good. After all the bolts are installed, we'll do a final tightening sequence from the middle of the bracket, working our way outward.
Stay with us. When we come back, she'll be bolted in place.
ShipShape TV will be right back.
Hi, I'm Barry Burhoff with Surehold Industries. Look at this guy and all the stuff he needs to maintain his boat. I guarantee you he'll be tripping on that all day long. Forget that nonsense. Use the Surehold family of products featuring the one handle that does it all. Surehold has over 40 different quality attachments that easily locks into place. Deck brushes, mops, squeegees, scrubbers, paddles, boat hooks, and even a camera adapter. Whether it's for your car, truck, RV, or boat, keep it clean and simple with Surehold products.
And now back to the project.
Well, Nick, I got to tell you, this is really adding some room to this boat.
Yeah, it changes the whole look.
Yeah, it really came out nice. Now, all we need to do is take off the tape and do a little bit of cleanup with mineral spirits, and we're going to be good to go.
Wipe it all down and make a nice bead along there.
Boy, I am really impressed with this paint.
It surprised me, John. It turned out real nice. I think it did everything that it was sold to us to do and more. Very happy with it.
Well, that's about all the time we have for this week's show, guys. Till next week, keep
Keep
your boat ship shape.
Nick, and we wanted to do it a little late in the evening like this because this boatyard, besides having phones that ring, usually in this hole, I've been seeing this area.
What was that? You might be right this time. You might be right. I might be wrong. Yeah, I have been wrong before.
Once.
All fun and games, guys.
The Ship Shape Boatyard Show.
Cut away. Can I put with John?
Oh, now it's